Several of the quests and areas in Grimdawn have backstories told through lore notes that can be found as you explore. A few of the stories are particularly twisted and grim, which obviously fits the theme of the game. The first one I'll be reading is Hargate's Journal, the backstory to the quest Origin of the Slith. The theme is reminiscent of the Island of Dr Moreau, also a trashy little early 70s B-movie you probably haven't seen called Snake, which features Dirk Benedict, who went on to star in the A-Team in the original Battlestar Galactica series. Here we go, a nasty little story of man playing God, with predictable results. Hargate's Journal, page 1. First day at my new lab. I must say I'm thrilled to get started. The days of having my nose stuck in the books are over. There comes a time when studying old tomes reaches its limit. Eventually, one must set out on their own to pursue new ventures, and ideas not yet considered. It is our sacred duty as scholars to leave a mark upon the world. My wife Helen and my dearest daughter Elena will be joining me soon at our new home. Helen has expressed concern about our little girl growing up in a laboratory so far away from other children, but I've calmed her down. Elena will have everything she requires, and Burridge is just a short boat ride away should she ask for a playmate. Together, Helen and I are going to do something no arcanist has dared even consider: the creation of new life. The ether is a wondrous source of energy, and yet nobody's stopped to ponder its effects upon organic material. Helen's expertise in the biological arts should prove most valuable in this endeavour. Hargate's Journal, page 2. At Helen's recommendation, I've chosen the lowly green swamp adder as the basis of my experiment. Its short lifespan and rapidly shedding skin made for a malleable test subject. The initial results seemed promising at first. Using high concentrations of ether energy, we were able to instill various mutations within the specimens, creating new limbs or inducing gigantism. Unfortunately, none of the samples survived beyond a couple of weeks, their higher brain functions being seemingly incapable of handling the introduction of additional bodily elements. For our second batch of experiments, we moulded the adders with a few grobles captured by local trappers. The results were curious, to say the least. While this was not the breakthrough I was looking for, we seemed to be heading in the right direction. The dull mind of a Grobel was capable of adapting to its new body, but its primitive and disgustingly malformed physique would see me become the laughingstock of my colleagues. No, I must see this through to its logical conclusion. Helen may frown upon it, but the next step seems clear as day to me. Hargate's Journal, page 3. I've sent Helen and Elena away for the summer to visit family in the capital while I continue my work alone. I tasked a few unsavoury individuals to gather volunteers for the next stage of my research, mere vagrants and rovers, people nobody would miss. The fees they charge were considerable, but I will pay any price when I'm so close to my breakthrough. The samples arrived in the middle of the night, delivered to their cells as promised. My collaborators took their pay and left promptly without asking any questions. Frankly, they looked a bit disturbed, but I was unfazed. They are but simpletons, unable to fathom the importance of my work. The specimens began stirring by morning, their frightened cries echoing throughout the lab. I explained to them that they were selected for an important duty, that their lives would finally have meaning and purpose. The scum should have been thanking me, but instead they cursed me as a madman and criminal. So I dismissed their accusations and got to work. There was much to be done. Hargate's Journal, page 4. Helen and Elena returned early from their trip. While Elena was otherwise occupied with her toys in the living quarters, Helen came down into the lab to find me in the midst of my latest study. The horrified look on her face is something I shall never forget. I tried to be reasonable. I explained that what she witnessed was merely a stepping stone, that those men and women died so that our work would not be squandered on snakes and Grobels. But she would not budge. My wife, my partner, had betrayed me at this most critical junction. My work is too important to let emotional attachments get in the way. I did the only sensible thing. Let history judge my actions. With the unfortunate distraction dealt with, I returned to my results. The human-snake hybrids had proven unstable and violent. I was assaulted on several occasions while attempting to study their physical functions, but those attacks proved to be little more than outbursts on the verge of death. All of the specimens died shortly after the procedure. Dissection revealed an incomplete hybridization of internal organs. With a dysfunctional digestive system, death was inevitable. But I wonder if perhaps the subjects were too old for the procedure to succeed. If I started over with a younger candidate, then perhaps I would finally have the results I seek.